begin the cleaning process. And so you can just see why I always have faucet transferred to another section. So what I do is bounce this up a few times until the water gets into it, and eventually will flow for this tube and will enter into that bucket. Another thing I really got to get down to that gravel. It will suck out a lot of filth, gunk. You just don't stick to one spot. You gotta keep this thing moving and really get in there so lots of the dirt and everything that was hidden at the bottom can surface and come out. And here's how it flows steadily through the tube and into that bucket, which we'll be taking out and putting out in our garden area, because another good thing when you have these kind of tanks is if you have a garden or a flower bed, put this on it, because the filth that the fish produces makes great nutrients for the plant life. So that's another way you can conserve water and make less waste. There are lots of ways you can help the water system. Wouldn't it be great if we all could if the world could have a giant version of this, so we could suck out all the pollutants in the water? But we don't really. So there are simple things you can do to help by, like, don't dump any chemicals or anything inside storm drains, because that always leads back to the lakes, ponds, and which are all connected and will lead straight back to the ocean. So as you can see now, the tub's getting pretty full, so now I have to cut it off. Usually I would have someone hold it off for me, but since I'm doing this myself, because my camera is behind the camera, I usually use a clothespin as a form of stopping the water from flowing. And now we open the door. You have to completely make sure this drains out. I would hate to get anything on the hard wooden floor. Do now. There we go. And now we're going to continue this process for about a few more times until the water level reaches to about here. And that's how we do a 1/3 water change. We can also help by reducing our plastic intake, like reusing shopping bags or getting reusable water bottles, which we can reduce plastic waste, which fish like Foxy and sea turtles and many other animals can ingest. Sure, you think a little fish can't eat a huge plastic bag, but plastic, when it breaks down, it doesn't disappear. It turns into microplastics, which fish ingest, and they end up getting very sick and end up dying. So this is just another more of the few ways you can help. Yeah, look at all that goo coming out. Yuck. So betta fish, their diet consists of bloodworms, which usually to them, a lot of people have said that they're like chocolate to these animals, but for some reason my pet betta fish, he'll eat them, but he's not like a huge junk fan. Either that or krill, or, well, in his case, he has this domesticated betta food called aquine. I'm not really sure if I'm saying that right, but this is what his diet usually consists of. And you only feed the fish about this much, because like one pinchful because their stomachs are actually as big as their eye. I didn't know that until I did a lot of studying at my aquarium. Alright, here we go again with another bucket.